is the greatest of all time.
I do, as a matter of fact. I love Kate.
Yeah, I mean,
she's just...
there's really no argument.
There's no... Well, Pink, I think Pink is a whole nother animal right there. If the two of them got in like a steel cage match or something, it'd be amazing.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
We're live. Welcome to the Two Rotarians Podcast. My name is David Cobb.
And I'm Ken Cooley.
Thank you for joining us today. We haven't had one of these in a couple months. There's been some vacations. There's been a lot going on, which we will cover in this episode, per se.
Sickness, health, vacations. Some of us were down south.
Yep, I was away for Thanksgiving and away for wedding, and yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A lot going on.
Crazy.
So
how are you?
I'm good. Wow. I'm gonna need you to make love to that mic because I can barely hear you.
You'll never find.
There it is. He's back.
New setup, so I do apologize.
New setup. We're going through technical adjustments. How about you? How's everything been?
Not too bad. So one of the cool things that we did, both my wife and I actually got new jobs. We start the same week. If you want to make a marriage strong and happy, boy, I'll tell you, don't get a job
the same week.
The same week, start on a new week. No, we're really excited. She got an amazing opportunity with a company, and we'll talk about that maybe a little later. But I also got another opportunity, and I just couldn't pass it up. So, I think all this doing good in the community stuff and karma and my name is Earl
starting to pay off.
It's paying off.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit, actually more than a little bit, about what our club has been up to.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of the first thing, which I think is a big thing for us, and what we're going to be focusing on not only in the near future, but in the long term, is the Joseph Center.
Yes, sir.
And we've gone down there. We've trimmed trees. We've cleaned up some outside areas. We did a koi pond. Shoe pit. Yeah. We have new picnic tables. And then the kicker of it all is somehow we constructed a shelter.
Yeah.
That has a roof and concrete under it.
Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to Garrett with Capital Roofing Solutions for a million different reasons. But for I had this crazy vision of what I kind of wanted. And he was like, yeah, Ken, we'll get it. We'll get it done. Don't worry about it. Not a problem. And I'm freaking out. And I'm still freaking out. I got concrete issues. I mean, you name it. Every time we do a project, there's the little, let's call them speed bumps.
Sure.
That happened. But Garrett's been a trooper. He donated a bunch of the material, helped us out with labor, and it's huge.
Oh, yeah.
It is huge.
It's big. It's a 20 by 20.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, because I can't do math.
Pavilion type thing with, they're going to enjoy the heck out of that thing.
Yeah, so, and James from Rebuild as well, James Hoyle from Rebuild, he actually just finished the dumpster area. So if people who were down there are familiar with it, he did an all-new fence for that, and he's going down this week to paint it. We have I would say 92% of the concrete done. This weekend, James and I will be down there finishing off the concrete. So that's going to be done. And then we planted trees. Did we mention planting trees?
No, we didn't.
President Ian would be thrilled.
That's right.
I would say we planted probably about 20 to 25-ish trees down there.
That's right. See, it's hard to keep track of everything that we've done down there. There's so much. Even when you make a list, you can forget.
You make a list, you check it twice.
Yeah, you check it twice. It's that time of the year.
Boom.
And you still forget.
Yeah, so I mean, we've just done a ton down there, and we're planning on doing some stuff for Christmas for them. I know Miss Tina Koch, who is the incoming president for our club after me, is taking charge of their Christmas / kind of celebration holiday party. And so we're going to kind of work with them and see what they need. While I'm on the subject, if anybody out there has any fishing poles that they want to donate, to the cause. The vets down at the center actually have a lake that, if you are familiar with the back end of that, about a half block away is a lake. And I was sitting there talking to some of the guys down there who now call me Mr. Cooley. I don't know why. At first, when
he's made a name for himself.
When first we went down there, they were like, "Who the heck is this guy?" You know, and I just kept going over there talking, blah blah blah. So we started building the pavilion, and I get there the next day and trying to button up some stuff, and they go, "Mr. Cooley, hey, how's it going? You want some coffee? Let me make you a fresh pot of coffee. Let me take care of you." So now they're like, "Hey, these guys actually came back and showed up, and I'll take coffee."
Sure.
Hell, I'll drink coffee at 10 o'clock tonight. Are you kidding me? I love that stuff. But they, these are guys who sometimes feel neglected, are very closed, and so for them to open up their hearts and realize, hey, these guys are actually trying to help us, I think gets you in the feels.
Oh, it does. And like you mentioned earlier with Tina, we do, I know that they have a couple things coming up that are Christmas related. If anybody out there, not only if you have any extra clothing, and they're looking for some of those kind of toiletry supplies to keep in their stock room for these guys, anything, please reach out to us, get in contact with us. We will go deliver it. If you want to deliver it yourself, just in case you are not familiar with the Joseph Center, it is in East St. Louis. It is across the street from East St. Louis High School. And there's a sign out front, and they got a gate around the building. It's a brick building. It's pretty easy to find. If not, Google it.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get a hold of them somehow. But yeah, please let us know, or if you'd like to come and volunteer with us.
But you made a great point. They will take anything you're thinking about throwing away. Oh, so we also got a basketball hoop donated.
Oh, nice.
Down there.
I didn't know that one. I missed that one.
See, I'm telling you.
God, I've been out of town. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's hard to keep up.
It's been great. I mean, and I always say, for me, I'm kind of that sales rep type guy. I always like meeting new people. I always like talking, obviously. But, with that said, a lot of these vets down there now, they are appreciative of what we're trying to do. We've had some speed bumps. We're a small club. But, again, we're going. The Christmas party, we're going to put it together. I know Tina has reached out to the Fairview Heights Club with Brenda and Ralph. Ralph's the current president. Brenda was last year. And so we're going to try to do something for them for Christmas. So
awesome.
Or I should say for the holidays. I won't sing. But well, there's no. Wait, sorry. So, but yeah, I think that for us being a small club of 16, 17 people, we are really making an impact in the community. And I'll talk more about that later, because I know I don't want to screw up your agenda here.
No, you're fine. But let's go ahead and talk about, we'll transition to the impact in the community a little bit, not only with talking about the Joseph Center, but I missed this. I am deeply saddened that I missed this, because this is one of our, it kind of almost is our signature project for our club. We've been doing this since I joined the club. I'm a charter member of the club. So from day one, we've been doing this, and that's Thanksgiving baskets to needy families in our local community. I was out of town for Thanksgiving, and I missed this, and I am deeply saddened. So give us a little bit of a recap, if you would, because I wasn't there.
So Tina put together, Tina's like my rock. And I know I joke around with everybody about that. We're like Rotary husband and wife. But Tina really is the person that if I have run into an issue, or she's my first call. And usually what ends up happening is Tina wraps it up, puts it in a tiny little bow, and goes, "Here you go, sir. Here's," and whatever she touches, I don't have to deal with it, which is amazing. So we took it upon ourselves again this year to serve 12 families in Shiloh and O'Fallon a Thanksgiving meal. But not only do we do a Thanksgiving meal, we do enough food for the next couple of weeks. And, we get a big ham and a whole bunch of food, so that when we're delivering this food, I think the people are a little overwhelmed by it.
Right.
Now, I always say, if somebody asks for help, I always assume that they need help. you know, so, and the reason why I say that is because, you know, I think people are going to try to take advantage of kindness and generosity and all that. I don't think I ran into any of these people in the past couple of years that I've done it. I have ran into nothing but kindness, love, people who just, you know, so I'll give you an example, and I won't mention names. The first family we delivered food to, it was a single mom with 3 or 4 kids. We walked upstairs. The kids were all excited to see us, obviously, you know, kind of, hey, how you doing?
Right.
So we're talking and we're pulling stuff in, and the mom comes up from downstairs and kind of gets a grasp of what we did. And she just started tearing and started giving everybody hugs and started, you know, going from there. And so we gave her a card. And the cool thing about this year in particular, Catherine Taylor Yank donated some food cards, some schnooks and stuff like that. The O'Fallon Police Department, FOP.
Fraternal Order of Police.
Yes. Thank you, because
that's why I'm here.
He knows stuff. They donated money, and because they loved our cause, and you know, so they really backed us. So we had enough food for them, but we also had gift cards for them as well. And so this woman opened up the gift card, and you know, she just kind of lost it. I don't cry easy.
That's a lot.
So she kind of, you know, it gets you in the feels. I know Tina's group, we split it into O'Fallon and Shiloh.
Right.
Team Shiloh, I was the captain of. By far the better team. We were just cooler. We finished faster. Team O'Fallon, you know, maybe next year.
Right.
We had another girl, and I'll only give you a couple quick stories. We went to this house. There was a young kid there. So we knocked on the door, and he didn't want to open the door. So I was like, I said, listen, we're from the Rotary group, and we're delivering food. And he says, well, do you are from my school? I said, yeah, from Whiteside, you know, because Whiteside School got us the names and got us the people that were in need of some love. And so he goes, okay. So we opened it up and we left everything. And I said, please give this to your mom. And, you know, gave him the card. And I said, thank you very much. And we want you to have a good holiday. He said, okay. He was very quiet, very reserved. I think he was more worried about the fact that he opened the door.
Right.
Because that would have been me as, you know,
as a kid.
8-year-old.
There's a group of people outside. Do I open the door or not?
Yeah. So I had one family that I had to deliver to late. And I get a call. It says, Mr. Cooley, is this Mr. Cooley? I said, oh, boy, you know, I told you this. I hear Mr. Cooley. I'm thinking, bill collector, doctor telling me something, you know, health related, or, you know, one of those deals. I said, you know, in my meek voice, yes, it is. You know, she's like, I'm so-and-so. You delivered food to my son a couple hours ago. I couldn't be there, and I do apologize, but I wanted to let you know, I won't go into details, but I am a single mom raising a couple kids. I had to leave where I was at in a hurry, so I really don't have anything. I am one of these people who, you know, I've asked for help from this community, and they've come back and shown me the love. I came home today and found all this food and started crying. And I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about it, even though I don't cry easy. And she said, you know, and you guys showed us the love. And then I opened up the gift cards, and I didn't know how I was going to feed these guys this week. So, you know, when you get a call like that, she said, thank you very much for your group, for all you guys do. You really are doing God's work.
Right.
I am not an overly religious person. I do believe God puts us in places that we need to be, you know, to kind of get through life and figure out, and people we need to meet. But, you know, so I'm on the phone in my car driving to the next family, and I'm just like, well, I want to let you know that we're here for you. And I am just a ball of just mess and crying and, you know, just an absolute mess. And, you know, and I'm on my way to go deliver to another family. So, I mean, for me, I don't think there's a better way for me to spend Thursday or Saturday before Thanksgiving than delivering that food and helping out those families.
Yeah, and I think this is the first year I think I've ever missed it, and I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So bad, and I knew you guys were doing it, and I'm just like,
This is the one that really kind of for a club, you know, I don't want to say our signature project, but this is the one that we have done since day one, since the club came to be. I think Tina and I joined a little after you guys chartered. And I say you guys, us, after we chartered. But we were on the first Thanksgiving meal, if I remember correctly. So it has been like 6 years now, 6 years. So that was the project that we first did back then, where I was like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. I'm staying in this group. These guys
is
are
where I belong, right?
This is where I belong. And look where we are at.
Yeah.
So with that said, I want to give a special shout out.
Go for it.
And I've got more junk and stuff everywhere. We got written up in last week's O'Fallon Weekly.
Woohoo.
So Mr. Nick Miller, thank you very much for putting us in the paper. I know this isn't going to come across too good, you know, with the video or whatever. But if you go grab this paper right now, you can see the cool kids right there. You can see me right there wearing a Prince shirt.
Oh, boy.
In case that doesn't come across in the picture. But thank you very much, Nick, for telling basically Shiloh, O'Fallon, St. Clair County about the good that we do in the community.
Yes, thank you, Nick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Moving on. Do you have any updates on Shoeman Water Project?
Oh, yeah. We ended up with, what was it, 800? No, 900 pairs of shoes.
900 pairs of shoes, ladies and gentlemen.
So that put us, and my numbers, my math is off because you kind of threw me off guard with these questions here. We are at 7,000 pairs of shoes.
The whole time we've been doing
it. So, you know, for a project that we don't pay any money to do.
Right.
The shoes get sold to, you know, they bring them to third world countries. They sell them. So they create jobs for these people to sell these slightly used shoes. And then the shoes, the money from the shoes are used to create clean drinking water and clean drinking wells. So, I mean, for us, that's a huge global project for us. Didn't cost any of us a dime.
Right. Just when you clean out your closet, turn in some shoes. If you buy your kids new shoes because they grew out of them, turn them into us. We'll take them. We'll turn them into clean drinking water.
And I'm glad you brought that up. So we had a schedule of when we were accepting shoes, which is like April to end of October-ish.
Right.
That is officially changed. We have a storage person, Miss Kelly, who is going to take shoes for us for the winter. So if you got shoes all year long, hook us up. We'll take them. I'll send Dave. Dave will send me.
Bring them to us.
Bring them. Mrs. Cooley has ixnayed having them in the garage.
Anymore.
They do get a little, what's the term?
Ripe?
Ripe. I was going to say gamey. But yeah, if you guys got shoes out there that you know, every year I tell everybody, for your girlfriends, your wives, for me, because I love shoes. It's the best way to ensure that you're going to get new shoes that year is get rid of your old ones.
Get rid of your old ones. Why not?
You know, make it happen.
Right.
So hook us up. So yeah, 7,000.
7,000. That's awesome.
That's absurd.
That is absurd when you think about it. And moving on now to another event that I missed. This is a theme if you guys haven't gotten this yet.
This is episode 6. Cobb returns.
Right. Yeah, I'm just missing everything. District conference.
Oh,
I missed district conference, and I missed Ken being the man on the street doing live interviews. I got to watch them when I was gone, but I wasn't there. I missed the young professionals group, which Mitty Chang led, which I heard was phenomenal. I've heard nothing but good things about that. And Mitty Chang, if you're out there and you ever see this, I am so sad that I missed the chance getting to meet you, because that was on the list. You can ask Ken. I wanted to meet you, wanted to talk about kind of this podcast and what we're trying to do and get some of your input. opportunity to meet with you. And
so I was going to go down a few lists of the speakers, but since you started with Mitty,
you got to start with Mitty.
I got to start with
Mitty.
Me. So Mitty was this guy. I have been preaching for the past several years now that Rotary has to change. Rotary has to get with the times, whether it's social media, Facebook,
right,
whatever, and not necessarily get younger, but if you look at the average age of Rotary, it's something like 65 years old for each club.
Right.
Our club is completely different. We are, I want to say our average age is like 45, 46, but that's because I'm bringing it up.
And I'm bringing it down, just so we're on the same page.
So the cool thing about Mitty, he starts off and he's talking about this, is how Rotary is dying. And imagine 50 years from now, people are talking about this great organization that happened, but is no longer around. You know, this great organization that cured polio, that helped get clean drinking water. But, you know, they're not around anymore because they got old and stagnant and couldn't figure out how to move with the times. Then Mr. Mitty, you know, and my hat's off to this guy. He sits there and he goes, I'm going to give everybody my cell phone number. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. That's not happening. He gave everybody his cell phone number. He then says, you know, I want you guys to text me. Send me a text right now. So we all sent him a text. He's up there talking. His phone's blowing up. You know, it's his real phone number. I think he's crazy. What do I know?
Whatever. He
is going to offer an award for people who bring in 2 members to the club this year. So if you do get these 2 members in the club, he's going to get you this certificate, and it's like this Dragon Slayer membership certificate. Nice. And, you know, so for me, being a Dungeons and Dragon nerd or whatever, Game of Thrones, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm in. But what he was preaching really hits me to the core. Because my big thing is we have to change. We have to be around in 50 years. I would love to be, you know, 80 years old. God willing, I'm going to the gym as much as possible. And talking about how all these younger kids are doing this. And back in my day, we did this project. And, you know, 40 years from now, a group of youngins that are in my group are still working at the Joseph Center or doing new stuff or whatever. But, you know, all of that, it gets involved with change. We can no longer be the old white guy club.
Right.
You know, our group is one thing. Another thing about our group is we are women. We have more women than men.
Correct.
And that's rare in Rotary as well. So, you know, these were the things that Mitty kind of touched on, and God bless him. It was a pleasure beating him. Sucker, you didn't get to
I know. He's gonna rub it in. He's been rubbing it in.
But you know, for people like that to have a young presence, to be able to stand up in front of somebody at that age. I know I'm kind of a rare bird. I've been doing it all my life.
Right.
But to have that charisma, you got charisma.
Charisma.
That's my East Coast. To be able to speak in front of people, to have that kind of bravado, it's just, God bless him.
Right.
So we talked about the podcast and where we want to be in 5 years. And I explained to him how we kind of do the podcast. And he was very interested. So Mitty, if you're out there, call me, buddy. Call Dave. We'd love to bend your ear a little bit. And, you know, poor Dave just wants to meet you. That's
right. Get you on an episode of this thing.
So I'll try to go quick here. One of the speakers was Clifton Talbert. He talked about his upbringing and how, you know, he had a woman that he worked for way back in the day. They wouldn't let folks, you know, read. And this woman started giving him books and started letting him go to the library and sitting down and treating him like a human being. So it kind of, you know, his mom, he didn't live with his mom. He had an aunt, and I'm not doing this story justice at all, but long story short, his mom went back to school later in life. Degree. He ended up, he was at a speaking engagement, and somebody said, "Are you related to so-and-so Talbert?" which was his mom. And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Are you aware that your mom's teachings are like industry standard for nursing when, you know, stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, kind of, you know, it's,
right.
hey, that's, you know, but to come from nothing to get to where these folks were, there's a rap song. It always goes back to rap with me. Eric B. and Rakim. And there's a lyric where it says, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. And that has gotten me through years and years of just miserableness to get to where I am today. And so I always think about, I love hearing good stories about that. Paul Chappelle was another speaker. He talked about, you know, dealing with anger and growing up with having a lot of anger inside, and how he kind of figured out how to release that anger and be able to live with inner peace. It was another great story. I'm trying to go quick because I know I don't want to kill us on time.
Right.
And I also got to meet Catherine Fahey. She is another one of these people who, like, she was the president district representative. And so the cool thing about her is she, if you remember Mr. Bill Stallman.
I do. He's actually texting me right now.
No.
My phone has been going off, and it's him. Not even lying.
That's Bill going, hey, tell Ken to shut up.
Probably. It might be. I don't know.
But so Bill might, if you're out there, Catherine Fahey, she was the one who was instrumental in getting Rolling with Rotary started. So she does a lot of PR work and working with the youngins in Rotary. But this was one of those deals where she is instrumental in getting the word out of Rotary. And so I got to meet her. On our website and on the district page are some of the interviews that I did.
Right.
I can link those up a little later and try to find some.
And they're good. For them. They're awesome.
The last, you know, and I'm not doing this justice. Jill Petrozinski, our district governor, really put some amazing stuff together. One of the last things I'll tell you is Ralph Zook from the Fairview Heights Club is taking something called, and look this up on Facebook, Barca Lounger Rickshaw.
Barca Lounger.
He is taking this thing. It's a bicycle. Barca attached to the back of it. He is taking this thing from Fairview Heights, Illinois, which for those of you who are worldwide, kind of near St. Louis, all the way to Toronto to the district conference.
National.
International. Canada is considered a whole nother
international conference.
So it's amazing. And he's doing it to help raise money to fight polio.
Yes, and I'm actually going to get in contact with him, and when he leaves Fairview, I will ride with him for a set amount of miles, which I have yet to determine. But I don't know. I mean, I'll ride with him for 20 miles if he wants. I don't care. That's fine with me.
Ralph's amazing. Real nice guy. And the funny thing about that is he is actually looking for people to be kind of like, you know, be in the truck and go ahead of them, you know, and meet him in each town, or if it's a sketchy area, to kind of ride behind him so that he's not having to worry about traffic. So if that's something you're interested in, absolutely go check that out.
Oh, I am.
I mean, he is
I'm following his page on Facebook.
And if you do, and I've left the shirt in the other room, but if you do, for a $20 donation, he gives you a red shirt that says, you know, fighting polio or whatever, a Barca Lounger Rickshaw crash test dummy. So, I mean, you can't beat that. That dude's amazing. So kudos to Ralph. Kudos to Jill for putting, you know, and the committee for be together. I wish you were there.
I know.
A couple of quick notes. The next governor coming in is Janice Alke.
Okay.
So, and I want to let everybody know right now, she made it very clear. She said it's pronounced all key.
Okay.
Even though it's not spelled like that.
Oh.
You know, just want to throw that out there.
All right.
Had a wonderful talk with her. I didn't get to interview her. By the end of the night, I kind of tried to get as many people as possible.
Next district conference.
Yeah, next district conference. I will get her and Gary Ham as well. He is out of the Metropolis area. He's coming in after her. And then, you know, kind of a bittersweet, they announced the incoming governor after Gary, and it's Miss Lorraine Cavatayo. So I'm pretty excited about that. I know her brother Joe for a few years, and the next three people coming in after Jill, you just really couldn't ask for more. I mean, so
it's exciting.
Yeah. So I will leave on this note. I will shut up about district conference because I had an amazing time. I was the PR guy taking pictures. Yep. Steve also did PR for the district. And it was just amazing, dude. I really wish you were there. It was one of the better district conferences that I've been to in a long time.
And if you didn't go to district conference, you can join me next year and being there.
Yes.
How about that? All right.
You heard it from Dave first.
Yes. And now I want to transition to the Rotary year. Oh, and I think this is going to be a good topic to talk to you about because not only are you on the podcast with me, but you are a club president, so that makes it awesome. So we're basically at the halfway point of the Rotary year, which is why I wanted to talk about this. And this is going to be a good transition and talking about what we've done to what's coming up.
Okay.
So we've talked about the projects that we've done. We've talked about things that have happened. So at this point,
oh boy,
how do you feel about your first half of the Rotary year?
So do you remember a conversation a little while ago or a couple of shows back about the Super Bowl commercial where the Cowboys are like running a herd and yeah, we got the roughest herd here that we try to wrangle the herd and you find out it's a bunch of cats.
Cats, yep, herding cats.
That is being a president.
He's calling me a cat right now.
No, and I mean it in a good way. So, like, I am constantly busy. Mrs. Cooley, we talked about this before this happened. I said, listen, if I do this, I go all in for this next year.
Right.
So she understands. I'm busy. I have a hard time saying no. Just talk to Tina about this conversation as well. The thing that I am going to be most, I should start off like this. This 6 months has been some of the 6 months of the most rewarding time of my life. I have gotten more done in this past 6 months as far as helping the community, just getting our name out there, just pouring out my heart to Shiloh, O'Fallon, St. Louis, the world.
The world. Yep.
Being a president has been the most rewarding thing I have ever done. And I'll put that right up there with, I've been on stages in front of thousands of people. I was going to say
he was singing.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
clarify that.
I used to be cool. I used to have hair that was just all over.
There's pictures.
And being a president really has, I think, it's given me a calmness and a love of community and a love of this earth that I didn't have before. I grew up poor. I grew up angry. I was homeless for a very short period of time, but still, that's not a good feeling.
Right.
And again, Eric B. and Rakeem, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at. Right. So I look back now, at 20-year-old Ken Cooley. I hate talking in the third person, but I think that 21-year-old would have looked at me now and been like, yeah, I could be that dude.
Right.
I could be that guy. So, for me, being president is every bit of just, it gets you in the feels. When people at the Joseph Center are looking at me going, man, you came back. Not only now did we come back, you actually built stuff.
You did something.
And so that goes along with them going, hey, anytime somebody brings up my name, they're going to be like, that guy's awesome.
And yeah.
I'll take it, because
exactly,
not that I'm a humble young. No. So with that said, the reason why I say that is because we already have 9 projects in the book this year. I don't know if you realize that.
And the goal was?
The goal was 12.
Well, we're halfway through.
Okay, so the joke actually is the goal on Rotary International was 6. I said to myself, in my head, I said self, because I talk to myself all the time. There's no reason not to do a project a month.
Right.
Even if you theme it out or whatever, there's no real reason. So, I just, as things kept coming up, even if it was a big project or if it was a small project, I said yes, because when am I going to get another time in a year span to help as many people as I can? So we're at 9 projects right now. Does that mean we're going to take some time off and
absolutely not? Absolutely not. I will tell you that we are not going to take any time off.
We just finished a project. We mailed off some stuff for Miss Gina, who is in Qatar. Is that how you pronounce it? Qatar.
The rest of the world, well, not the rest of the world. The United States says Qatar, but it's Qatar.
Geography, Google
Maps.
Trivial Pursuit, I can kill everybody, and then I get to the geography piece, and I'm stuck on it for 10 days.
Well, I'll play on your team.
All right, perfect. So it's funny. We sent her some stuff, and so that was just a little project. We didn't spend a ton of money, but we got her some stockings and some candies and stuff so that she can have her friends, her military friends there who don't have families, will have something to open up this holiday. So it's just a
small little project, but it's still having a big impact.
Big impact here and globally.
Correct.
So, stuff like that we just are knocking out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going back to Joseph Center in the spring. We'll clean up some stuff. God willing, the pavilion will be done.
Yeah, it will be. We're going to knock that out before the year's over.
But yeah, so you asked, the question is 6 months.
Well, the first 6 months, it was, how do you feel? And we kind of got that from you. You've talked about you've talked about how the way you feel, the way it's kind of changed your outlook on a couple things. Yeah. And then even looking back at yourself going, yeah, my younger self would have really thought my older self was awesome and all the things that I'm getting accomplished. And you kind of alluded to it earlier that this karma thing has come in with all this work that you've done and all this. All of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, I'm getting a new job. And things are starting to look good for putting in all the work that I've done. You're like, hey, I'm getting a reward out of this that I wasn't even looking for, but something's coming my way because I'm doing good and the world is rewarding me.
I think so. And, I joke around with Kathy all the time that she's like, don't overdo it. Don't kill yourself. I'm like, what am I going to lose hair?
Yeah. Right.
It's all good.
So that was the first half of the year. We still got 6 months coming. What do you think that you've done in the first half of the year is going to maybe even change something for the second half of the year? Are you going to keep the ship going the way we're going, or have you kind of found some things that haven't worked and maybe some things that you want to try to not necessarily make a huge change to what our club's doing, but maybe just, hey, let's try this out. Let's see how this goes.
There are a couple things that, at the end of each meeting, we play Rock'em Sock'em Robots or Hungry Hungry Hippos or stuff like that. So there'll be little changes that I'm going to implement for the last 6 months. But my main goal in the last 6 months is to keep doing the projects. But I also want to set up Tina for Tina should have the experience I'm having now.
Right.
We have had some issues where we've had presidents in the past who really have gotten beat up for making decisions, for, just doing things their way, whether they're, and I'm not trying to be in a negative way. I just mean it's a tough position to try to make everybody happy.
Oh, it is.
And so if I can set Tina up so that at least she's going in the right direction, I think Tina is another person that will, she's got a little East Coast in her. So I think that from that perspective, I don't think she's going to get pushed around a lot. But at the same time, I want to make sure that when we're doing stuff as a group, she's having fun with it. And so that's kind of my main goal in life, is to make sure no matter what we're doing, we're having fun. I get beat up at the Joseph Center I'm an old fart. I watch Garrett and Brian and everybody running up and down ladders. And I'm like, man, I can't do that anymore. But at the same time, I've got a big smile on my face. So I come home and I'm hitting the aspirin and, just dying. But I sleep well at night. I am happy. And if I can do that for Tina, that's my soul sister. That would be if I can just get that done in 6 months, I'd be happy.
Right. So we'll spend kind of the second half of the Rotary year continuing doing projects and doing what we've been doing, but we'll also start to bring in that transition to the next Rotary year. Because, and people that are in Rotary, are aware of this, but if you're not in Rotary, I mean, you have to start setting up, applying for grants for the next year. You have to do all this stuff in that second half of the Rotary year that involves the incoming president, the incoming board, and your members to try to set all this up and get everything rolling. So you just roll right into the next year. And it's not an easy task to do. I mean, there's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of discussions, there's a lot of back and forth. So, and while you're doing all that and trying to get your next year figured out, you still have to keep the steam going on your current year and keep, make sure you're going to meet the goals that you want to meet, and that your president that's there right now feels like we haven't abandoned them and already moved on to the next year and just, hey, we're jumping ahead. See you later.
Hey, that Ken guy?
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah. I'm focused on the next year. I don't care about your projects anymore. So you don't want to do any of that.
The cool thing about Tina is that, and I'm not trying to, toot Tina's horn here, or, make her, I don't want to put Tina on the spot, is what I'm trying to say.
Gotcha.
But with that said, she was a member of her auxiliary, I want to say Birmingham or New York, or I can't think of the town for whatever reason, way back east. So I know that the Joseph Center is near and dear to her. So I know that she went down there to meet them and say, hey, we are here. What else you guys need done? What to kind of give her ideas for her year, for her grant project. So I'm kind of excited to see what she comes up with. I told her specifically, this is your year. Mm-hmm. I will give you advice and, point you if I can in the right direction, but this is all you, kiddo.
Make it your own.
Make it your own. I got people telling me in all different directions from the club, telling me what they want me to do. And I listen, and sometimes I kind of half listen.
And
but
when he listens, sometimes he gets roped into doing podcasts on YouTube.
Son of a! But it's what you make of it.
It is.
So you can have a president that kind of just sits there and stands in front of the club and reads off meetings, or you can make it. I want to go to a meeting where I'm having fun.
Oh yeah. That's how we keep coming back.
I mean, at that point, it's one of those deals where
people can hear that.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Sorry,
little inside joke there.
Phone.
I think it's one of those deals where you gotta have fun.
Yes, you do.
You gotta have fun. So hopefully, Miss Tino understands that, and I think she'll do just fine. And we're gonna set her up properly.
Awesome.
With that said.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
Our club needs a president after Tina.
They do.
So we are actually voting, not this Thursday, but next week. So if there's anybody watching this podcast who wants to step up, please, for the love of God, step up.
Come on in.
Because I'm telling you right now, if I got to do this again, Mrs. Cooley's going to have a nice couch for me.
Yep.
She'll be like, what are you doing? But no, so and all kidding aside, I just want to set up our club for the next 5 years so that we can get to a point where people are like, hey, that Rotary club, you're not that club. You're the club that does the Thanksgiving baskets. You're the club that's at the Joseph Center. I love that. I absolutely love that. Because when people are going to join other clubs, even if they're not in our area, they're like, hey, do you guys do that stuff?
Right.
So it kind of excites me. And so that's my last 6 months speech.
All right. Sounds good.
We're still going to do a lot of crap.
Yep. All right. Things that are coming up. Just we'll try to wrap this up a little bit. That's all I had really on the agenda to talk about as far as things that we've done, things that are a little bit upcoming. But we do have Ken has it pulled up on his phone right now. I can see it. The Women in Rotary event coming up in.
So it's on Saturday, February 17th. We're going to celebrate 30 years of Women in Rotary. The cool thing about this is the keynote speaker is former VP of Rotary International, Jennifer Jones. It's pretty, this year's been great for me, meeting a lot of the higher ups in Rotary that are, that I read about or read an article about. This is going to be one of those events that if you can go to, please do. It's going to be at the Missouri Athletic Club. You can get tickets is myrotaryclub.org. There are a few people going. The rumor mill is that you and I will be doing some interviews there, maybe?
That's what I've heard.
There's a possibility of that.
I have to check with our booker.
Yeah, we'll talk to
our agent.
We'll talk to the agent there. But I'm really excited about this event. Again, our club, if you're out there watching this show right now, or listening in, our club, again, we have more women than men.
Mm-hmm.
We are, and I think that is why we're so successful.
Yes.
Does that sound kooky?
That's an accurate statement.
They always say behind every good man is a woman. Not with our club, man. Our women are taking charge right in front. I hate that saying.
Mm-hmm.
So this is an event that I definitely would recommend if you're interested in Rotary and interested in hearing an amazing speaker. I know Jill, we kind of joked about this, but we have, including Jill's year, our next 4 district governors, 3 of them are women.
Yep.
So you're looking for an organization that's trying to change the old white guy mentality. It's actually Rotary.
It's actually happening.
Yeah. It's happening.
We're not trying. We are.
We are doing.
We're doing it.
So definitely go check that out. You can check that out online at the district page, District 6510. You can check that out on Facebook. If you
follow us, subscribe.
We'll put some links up as well.
Yep.
Missouri Athletic Club, again, February 17th.
Yep. And then I don't believe we have a date for this yet, unless you know more than I do. But those of you familiar with O'Fallon, the Rotary clubs have done multiple projects at a park called Rock Springs Park.
Oh, I do have some.
You have a date?
Yeah, I think it's May 19th.
Okay, May 19th. That will have a little ceremony at it because that's going to be known as
Rock Springs Rotary
Park.
Yeah, how cool is that? I mean, that's just something that, at the end of the day, the 3 clubs got together. So at that point, we were a tiny club.
Yes, we were.
We donated a little bit of money, a little bit of labor.
A little bit of time.
The O'Fallon Club and the Sunrise Club really took charge of that project. And we're really, for lack of a better term, what I really like about this park is just, if you've ever been there, it's awesome. They've got the cabin.
It's a small little walking trail. It's not overly big, but it's not too tiny. The Rotary clubs got together. What Ken mentioned earlier, I'll jump in because some people might not know this, is that all the 3 clubs got together and purchased playground equipment, and then we built this playground equipment, and this thing is massive. It's huge. The big slide is just, my daughter won't even go near it at 3 years old. She's scared. And then recently, and I'm not sure what the status of that project is, I haven't seen any more pictures, but they have been working on a fire pit. That sounds like it could be close to done or is done.
The cool thing is their current president, Mr. Dale, really took it upon themselves to, for lack of a better term, they turned this, I guess it's this giant, go look at pictures on their page. It is every bit of this giant fire pit out there.
It's huge.
And you can rent the space, you can rent the fire pit, you can have nights out there. But okay, so I want to give you the actual date here. I wanted to make sure I got this correct.
Oh, you're fine.
So of course it's March 18th.
March 18th. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a Sunday. It's going to be around, I just lost my page again. But
very good. We'll put some information out there for those of you that are following.
Yeah, and so
we'll definitely do another podcast by then too. So
God willing. But Greg Yank will be there. Our crowd will be there.
Yep.
And I'm trying to open this email real quick just so that I can make sure there's going to be a dedication. A future RI president is going to be there as well. And
the 2 Rotarians will be there. We will be there. We'll probably do some sort of a live video of it.
So I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's going to be, Mark Maloney is going to be there as well. So, just kind of, there's a whole ton of stuff going on, and I really am excited and, humbled at the fact that we can get all this stuff done and meet all these people. And
definitely,
it's absolutely amazing. So I'm very, very, very happy about it.
Awesome.
March 18th, 4 o'clock.
Okay. There it is. All right. That's all I got, unless Ken has something else and he's giving me the finger.
Hey, whoa.
He wants to jump in.
January 13th, we are doing our trivia night for
that's right.
For our club.
That's right.
So I'm kind of excited about that.
Get a hold of us.
It's $160 for a table of 8. Yep. Miss Tracy has taken that upon herself to get that thing going. The cool thing about that is that she's got a lot of ideas, man. So there will be a barrel of booze raffle. There will be silent auction, donation baskets.
Yep. It's a Hawaiian theme. So get out the grass skirts. I'm not sure who the host is going to be, but I was told it was somebody who knows how to talk in front of people and not afraid to make a big boob out of themselves. That's probably you.
Oh, then that's probably me.
That's what I'm thinking.
So we're kind of excited about that. I'm telling you right now, if you're thinking about doing this, get your table now.
Yes.
Get us a check, because this event will sell out.
Yep.
We don't want you to be like, man, that trivia thing would have been really cool to go to. And
we will talk about it on our next podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that, at some point we get to a, it's right around the corner. January 13th. Doors open at 6. Event starts at 7. Bring your intelligent people. Well-rounded team. For me, luckily, I don't need to know geography that
There
night.
you go.
And I am not a judge. So there will be judges there. Judge Judy.
Oh, boy.
Will not be there, but it'll be like Judge Judy.
Wow.
So get your tables. If you got any questions, you can hit us up on Facebook. Yep. I get Facebook requests all the time from people who I have no idea who the heck they are. Just send me an instant message and just say, hey, Cooley, I'm this guy, and we'll make it happen for you.
Get it done.
I'm trying to think of what else is going on, sir.
I think that's it.
Wow.
It is. Well, for right now, we'll have more dates coming up as we keep going.
Yeah. So the bags tournament, we don't have an official date yet, but we're looking at end of February, beginning of March.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, the bags tournament is one of our most awesome events that we have.
Yes, it is.
It is one of those deals where, again, we're kind of a younger club and a lot of fun. We're trying to have fun and do things and make life interesting. And I'm just all about doing different stuff and not being an old white guy.
Right.
So I think that's it. I'm looking across the board and just looking at what we got going on, man. Everything is hunky-dory with Cooley.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, I hope you have.
God bless you.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. We will see you after the beginning of the year, and
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
and all the other ones.
All the other good ones. If you're doing some good stuff in the community, hit us up. We want to know about it. We want to talk about it. We'll have you come in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we will continue to debate why Katy Perry is the greatest of all time. So you guys have a good evening or morning or afternoon, depending on when you watch this.
Yes. And enjoy. And we'll see you guys after the new year.
All right. Bye.
Bye.